edition of Trader Talk TV. Today we've got Dom from Captify in the office. Dom, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
And today we're going to talk about search retargeting and the dynamics of search retargeting and why it's important for marketers and agencies and buyers. Before we do that though, Dom, give us an overview of Captify. You've been kind of on the go now for 3 years building the business, so introduce us now to what Captify do.
So we specialise in search retargeting. The idea of the product is that we're able to harness the accuracy of search, which is obviously historically the largest area of digital display spend, digital spend, and combine it with the high impact reach scale of display advertising. So we've had to build a technology that brings all that together.
So you're obviously taking this search data and making it into sort of bringing display and search together. So just go into the sort of dynamics of how it works, where you get your search data, how you sort of crunch those numbers, that data, build segments, and then executing that data. So give us sort of an idea of what you do and why it's important for marketers and buyers, effectively.
Sure. I mean, ultimately, we want to be able to understand consumer intent, and we think that search is the key.
The key intent driver.
Exactly. So we built a first-party data network.
Yeah.
Now that's all the searches basically coming in. So we have publishers coming in from all over the web, providing us with search data, which is going into our database.
Yeah.
Now these publishers here that are coming in are everything from first-party publishers that are ranging from e-commerce websites through to second-tier search engines, verticalized publishers, all sorts of different types of publishers, third-party data as well. So that's all coming into our database, and then we have basically built a multi-layered dictionary which helps us understand all that search data. So we're sitting around 2 billion searches a month.
Okay.
And we need to make sense of that.
So the dictionary, just makes sense of the actual searches.
Exactly. So we have searches which are uncategorizable, searches which are in multiple categories. We have multiple languages that we're working across multiple different geos, but also non-intuitive keyword connections as well.
Right.
So that's basically our key piece of intelligence that we've built over the last 3 years, and it helps us understand which users are showing intent and which aren't.
So basically, let's say. Lycos or some let's say speculative, that's one of the search engines you work with. They go in, they put their details in there in the search bar, and then that information is taken by you into your sort of DMP database solution.
Sure.
And then your dictionary makes sense of the search itself, and then it's segmented against the user itself. Yeah.
So I mean, it doesn't need to be segmented. It can be an individual user as well.
Okay.
So, we then have this next module here, which is the next layer, which is our decision making engine. Now this basically looks at all the searches, all the users and searches. So we have user IDs and a search term and timestamp, etc. We also have other attributes as well. So we have things like geo, browsing, context, everything from frequency, all the other controls that we're able to leverage. But then also, if we just get rid of that, we have coming in, which is really key, is our advertiser keyword list. Yeah. Now we get that in and we're able to target that in various different ways, and the advertiser is actually able to target different stages of a purchase funnel. So you have competitors, brands, generic keywords, etc. We expand that out with our keyword expansion tool. Right. And then we're able to match that against all the searches that are going on in our network. But also we have creatives as well. So we have advertiser creators. Now those are coming in, and we can segment those again based on keywords, etc. So decision making engine has all of these different data points to actually look at and then send it through to our bidder. Now in between we have the sort of brand safety layer, as everyone has, and we need to basically make sure that our ad impressions aren't being shown on any unwanted sites. And then our bidders connected to SSPs, exchanges. We have private marketplace deals, and then essentially what happens is then we get all the logs coming in from the ad impression that's being served. Yeah. That feeds all the way back through to the database, and then you get this nice machine learning layer which sits underneath, which is based on everything that's going on, ranging from the semantic start of a keyword phrase all the way through to the impression.
And in terms of sort of where you sit on a typical plan, are you sort of bottom of the funnel, or is it across the funnel itself? Do you think you can do prospecting and retargeting? It feels that you have enough information here to kind of hit the user at various stages of the purchasing process.
It depends on the client. I mean, we have brand clients who simply want to get their ads out in front of the right audience. They look at things like engagement metrics, time on site, etc., and click-through rates, etc. But then we also have many performance clients, and their goals are simply just be getting a low CPA. Ultimately, this works for both because we're able to target based on different areas of the funnel, but also this gets great performance because of this the detailed layer of user level targeting that we're doing.
Right. And in terms of sort of success of the campaigns, I mean, I take it that the initial search is so intent laden that the success is quite high.
Exactly, yeah. But it's not just about taking a search. A search alone is not proof of intent.
Right.
So it's about combining it with all these other layers that we have here. It's about understanding the context of a search, the way that keywords are related together, combined with all the way through to the inventory. And that's taken us a long time to actually, to compute and find the best ways for different verticals. Every client has a different way of performing. There's different consideration phases for different types of clients. If someone's purchasing a holiday, that'll take a lot longer than someone who's simply looking for a company to send some flowers. So that's where we have to look at recency. You look at timestamp, and you're able to understand the correlation between the two.
And in terms of the creative, I think that's quite important because you've obviously a list of creatives from the brands, but is there room for you to do dynamic messaging as well in terms of sort of the ads you serve, or is that sort of on the roadmap type thing?
Well, dynamic ads, if you're looking at individual products and looking at thousands of products, which makes sense for site retargeting, you can see that would work. But for us, it's often it wouldn't make sense to have a dynamic ad unless you are looking at thousands of products. Most of the time, people are searching for flights to Paris, etc. In which case you just have a Paris creative.
Yeah, of course.
To segment that. You don't necessarily need to dynamically change the content on it. So for us, we do a lot of that. We make sure that we have a detailed creative segmentation on all campaigns.
And in a world where programmatic is kind of being sort of ring-fenced by a lot of the agencies, I mean, in terms of differentiation, how do you sort of set yourself out from, a typical sort of programmatic trading desk or whatever?
Sure. Well, I mean, the first thing for us is our first-party data. So getting all the searches, that's taken us 3 years to build a network of thousands of publishers.
And it's a European-focused publishers as well.
Yeah, it is international, but obviously we're primarily a European business.
Yeah.
And so taking all those searches in, and first-party searches that aren't available in third-party aggregators, etc. And the next thing is actually just understanding them all. If you take data from a search engine, for instance, it's completely uncategorized. You've got words that can be in all sorts of categories, all kinds of spellings, and all kind of things going on. So understanding that tech around that, and the decision-making process of all of this together is what makes a search targeting product.
So the decision-making engine is effectively your sort of supercharged DNP solution.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it kind of takes different elements and builds segments and knowledge for the actual execution of the campaign itself as well.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so many different levers that you can pull. And the great thing about this product is that there is so much scale as well. We're not relying on one sort of individual source. We're able to look at all sorts of different attributes, and ultimately there's no better signal of intent than search. Yeah,
search is obviously the key intent driver here. I mean, are you looking to pull in other sources as well going along, like social and other areas, or is that part of the plan, or is search your
search
focus?
Is the core, so the search behaviour is at the core of what we do,
yeah.
But it's also influenced by all the other data as well. That's the key way we do it. So all these other attributes and other data sources that we have, we're able to combine with it. And
in terms of where you might go with the actual solution, is there an idea to kind of roll it out as a SaaS model, or roll it out as a kind of a tech play? I mean, you probably get this question all the time. Is that something on the horizon eventually, or?
Well, we have a lot of things on the horizon, and I can't talk too much about a lot of them. But it's ultimately we need to keep developing this technology stack. We are in beta phase for our mobile product as well, to actually do a similar thing through mobile, which we'll come back and talk about at a later date.
Well, how would that work in mobile? I mean, the principle of in-app stuff, most of the inventory is bought in mobile is in-app. Is it a huge difference there, or there is a big
difference. There is a big difference in where we're doing it, and we'll come on to that future down the line.
Okay. Well, thanks very much, Tom. I look forward to that
Pleasure.
conversation about in-app search retargeting when we get there. But thanks for the overview on search retargeting on desktop, and thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.
And that was Trail Talk TV. We'll see you next week.